Welcome to the Vince Smoke Benji channel. My name is Benji. And before I begin, I want to go ahead and hope that all of you guys had a joyous Christmas and a happy New Year's. And I hope you guys are truly ready for 2023 because this year is definitely going to be that year. But anyways, I'm going to combine last chapter, since I didn't do a chapter review, and also this week's chapter together in one chapter review. And if you don't mind giving me a belated Christmas gift of 100 subscribers, I know it's already 2023, but we're only 20 subscribers away from hitting the 100 subscriber mark. So go ahead and subscribe to the Vince Smoke Benji channel. And honestly, that would be the best gift of all. But let's not waste any more of your precious time. Let's go ahead and begin with chapter 1071 of One Piece, A Hero's Offense. So let's begin with a lot of the major events and details that happened in last chapter, chapter 1070. First, we finally got our first glimpse of the participants within the MADS program. And not gonna lie, they look pretty saucy. And we even got a mysterious woman by the name of, well, we actually don't know her name, but it is speculated that it could be one of two people. Now, for one, it could be Stussy. She seems to have a lot of information about Vegapunk's lab that not too many people would already know of. Or, on the other hand, it could be none other than Sanji's mom, Sora. Now, I think I'm kind of leaning towards Stussy being more so the person that this mysterious woman is within the MADS organization, simply for the fact of her knowledge of Vegapunk's lab. But on the other end, it could be, and we do see Judge also in this basically cover spread with the MADS organization's participants, that he also could have had some kind of love connection with this mysterious woman, and it could have been Sora, and then it could have resulted in Sanji and the rest of the kids. But you know, that's just speculation. So moving on, also last chapter, we also see that Kuma has teleported away from the revolutionaries. We also see Lucci getting absolutely bodied by a Gear 5th Luffy. But the biggest thing that we actually learned from last chapter is the significance of the Seraphim. And I believe undoubtedly that they will be a major force driven within the final arc or the final battle of One Piece. But if we're going to be honest, that's about all that happened last chapter. Obviously, I'm missing a couple things, but that's the major stuff that happened last chapter. So now that you're caught up, let's go ahead and begin with 1071. And we begin with Kuma and where he actually teleported to. And from my predictions, I thought he was either going to teleport to Egghead or he was going to teleport to Sabo in order to rescue him. But instead, so he decided to go back to the place where he was enslaved. Like, what is going on? And to be honest, if I was Sabo when I heard about this, I would be absolutely pissed. I just imagine you go through all of that work in order for you to save one of your teammates and for him to inevitably try to go back to the place where he was enslaved. Man, I feel bad for Sabo. I think the reason will be kind of explained a little bit later because I do feel like we're on the heels of a Vegapunk and Kuma backstory coming up very soon, but I'm not 100% sure. But I want to know what you guys think. Why do you think Kuma decided to go back to the Red Line? And another reason why it's necessary to kind of have that backstory is we haven't necessarily seen Kuma at all within Egghead. I mean, obviously a lot of this arc has been about him and his daughter Bonnie, but we haven't necessarily seen too much stuff about Kuma. So I do want to see if we kind of get that in the next couple chapters. Now, another point that I would like to point out is the people of the Red Port have a terrible impression of Kuma and his past. I want to know what this man Kuma actually did to get a bunch of this bad recognition. And also, obviously, what is the special race that Kuma is a part of? Anyways, moving on, we see that Lucci has finally acquired the authority chip to basically take command over the Seraphim. And from the looks of it, their objective now is to block every single exit possible for the Straw Hats not to escape from Egghead along with Vegapunk. And later on, we actually get a very nice panel of all of the Vegapunks, including the real one, all taking place in the same panel. I believe this is the first panel where we see all of them together. Except for Atlas. Rest in peace. I mean, I don't know if she's dead, but you know, she could very well be packed up, so we'll see. But I gotta talk about this interaction between Stussy and Lucci while all of this commotion is going on. Check this out. Once again, Lucci isn't following orders. And Stussy says this: "You're determined to ignore the Navy, aren't you, Lucci?" And Lucci says the most hating ass comment I've ever seen in One Piece. He says this: "I refuse to accept Straw Hat as an emperor." Really? Really, Lucci? Come on, my guy. You got packed up by my boy Luffy. Now you're talking about, oh, I refuse to accept Luffy as an emperor? Yo, come the fuck on, my boy. Come on, son. Come on. Now, Lucci, I like you, my boy. You have some of the craziest drip within One Piece. But to say this comment, you gotta be one of the most hating ass characters within all of One Piece, bro. Give Luffy his credit. He beat that ass. Luffy was bodying you. And this is how you go to respond? Come on, Lucci. You can do way better than this. Come on. Anyways, moving on, the Vegapunks are discussing what is the best course of action to do next, knowing that Sentomaru is out of commission. But then we are made aware that another ally for Vegapunk actually lays dormant within Egghead. The only problem is asking them would jeopardize them trying to hide from the world government. Vegapunk shamelessly calls him anyway, and the mysterious figure actually agrees to help. Now, who could this mysterious individual be? And from the looks of it, they have to be somebody who can't be in the direct line of sight of the world government and the Gorosei. And my ultimate guess would be either Sabo, who we haven't seen since the destruction of the Lucia Kingdom. And this would actually make a lot of sense, especially for the fact that Dragon and Vegapunk were having a discussion earlier on in this arc, possibly trying to communicate that Sabo was an Egghead. And another possible guess could possibly be Gaban, who we know is extremely powerful, and it would be very interesting if he's directly hiding from the world government, especially for what reason. But those are my top guesses. Who do you think is this mysterious figure within Egghead? Let me know in the comments down below. So moving on, we see that Vegapunk, the real one, is actually excited that their ace will help, and also asks the rest of Sanji's group if it's okay if he brings his satellites as well, which doesn't have any objections from the rest of the crew. Then we cut to a finally awakened Bonnie, and she looks absolutely pissed for the fact that Vegapunk used bugs on her, basically to make her pass out. But out of nowhere, we get an announcement through intercom within the laboratory, and it's basically saying that the defense mechanism used to protect Egghead has actually been disabled, which is very convenient for CP0 because now they'll be able to infiltrate the base. Now this raises a lot of questions because who could possibly have want to disable the defense mechanism within Egghead? And I guess my guess for that would probably be Caribou maybe, but other than that I have absolutely no idea. But also, Lucci and his gang also seem a little bit hesitant at this as well, for the fact that this seems a little too convenient, especially for their purposes. Nevertheless, Lucci and crew make their way up to the Straw Hat ship, the Sunny, in an attempt to destroy their only means of escape. Little do they know, our boy Zoro is there to protect the Sunny. We see Kaku use a Tempest Kick directly at the Thousand Sunny, which awakens Zoro, and with an unsheathing of his sword, he is able to protect the Sunny in one fell swoop. Kaku is absolutely shocked at the fact that his Tempest Kick has been deflected, and Zoro simply says, "Who has interrupted me from my slumber?" And I'm not gonna lie, this part of the chapter is pretty hype, knowing that Zoro, especially the way that the panels are, we kind of see a silhouette of Zoro just kind of snoring and then immediately deflects the attack that Kaku actually did on the ship. So I do kind of sort of want to see what happens here. After this, both Kaku and Zoro clash, but if we're gonna be honest, if we're gonna be truly honest, Zoro's probably gonna pack up Kaku in maybe one chapter. So, you know, there's that. But I mean, I do want to kind of see what Kaku has in store now. We know that Lucci has gotten stronger, but he's not stronger than Luffy. But I do want to see where Kaku is. Has he awakened his devil fruit as well? We then finally see Luffy reunite with the entirety of his crew, except for Brook and Zoro. Oh, speaking of Brook, we didn't see Brook on the ship either, so I want to kind of see how that works out too. Maybe Brook is going to go up against Stussy, but who knows? And really quick, just going to say this. My boy Sanji's looking extra swaggy in this panel as well. Thank you, Oda. So Luffy arrives and he lets the rest of the crew know what is going on, but something seems kind of off. What could it possibly be? Where is Bonnie? And if you can imagine, she is trying her best to kill Vegapunk by any means necessary. Bonnie saying, "Can you turn my dad back to normal?" And Vegapunk saying, "No, I'm sorry, I just can't. There is a reason for that." Now this made me think that, especially in the next couple chapters, we'll actually get the reason why Kuma went back to the Red Line, as well as hopefully a backstory between Vegapunk and Kuma. But it has to be something that Vegapunk is somewhat ashamed of, but he has to have done it in order, by the wishes of Kuma in some kind of capacity. I want to see if that's the reason as well. But I do want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. Anyways, moving on to a different portion of the story, we actually get caught back up with Kid and Killer. And they have finally arrived in Elbaf. Now the thing about this that makes it kind of odd, it seems like either Kid has crazy luck or Killer has some kind of way to read poneglyphs or navigate basically their ship throughout the seas. But the fact that Kid is able to kind of go to these places without any kind of navigation that we know of is either luck or, you know, it's something that we never could have imagined. And say what you want about Kid, he's slowly but surely getting more and more recognition. Well, he's at least getting more hype for me personally. I think Kid's basically his showing within Wano was something that really kind of got me on the Kid bandwagon. So just let you guys know right now, if you guys haven't put stocks in the Kid, I would go ahead and do that right now. Kid and Killer is a very dynamic team for sure. And who knows, we may be able to see a red-haired pirates versus the Kid Pirates rematch. And I don't think it's gonna go as, I guess, horribly as last time. So we'll see. We know that Kid has gotten significantly stronger. Well, actually, all of the major players within Wano has gotten significantly stronger. So I think for certain we can see Kid really pull out some new tricks out of his bag. But we'll just have to see. But we end the chapter with what seems to be the G14 naval base, home to Sword. And we see the woman herself who might be top 1 in the waifu list for One Piece. I'm just saying, because she is tough. But none other than Doll, who is the Vice Admiral for Sword, is having a conversation with a very powerful old man, to say the least. None other than Vice Admiral GARP, who I believe was instructed to go to Egghead in order to help with the efforts in order to capture Vegapunk, but instead set his sights on freeing his fellow Marine, Kobe, from the Blackbeard pirates. But GARP confirms that he's headed to the home of Blackbeard right now in order to rescue Kobe. Now this is very hype because this may be the very first time that we actually see GARP truly get some action, especially knowing that he was once one of Roger's rivals. Now the only thing is that is kind of scary, and that has been speculated within the One Piece community, is the fact that Oda did say that he hopes no one dies in 2023. Could GARP be the person who dies? Basically that he hinted at. Now, let's be honest, you know, I know that, you know, Oda says a lot of things, but I think if he kills off GARP, that'll set off a huge chain of reactions for the final arc. Now, will I be sad? Of course. I know we don't know too much about GARP, but GARP has really become the only true father figure of Luffy while he was growing up. But nevertheless, this chapter was absolutely incredible. I can't wait to kind of get more in depth with the mysterious figure that we know is hidden within Egghead, as well as we may finally get to see GARP. And we already know, I think we can all agree that my boy has Conqueror's Haki, 100%. Like, 100%. There's no way he doesn't have Conquerors, you know? And also, I do want to apologize for combining last chapter and this chapter together, but it, you know, kind of had to be done. I mean, the holidays, you know, it kind of got hectic, so, you know, I apologize. But let me know what you guys think of the chapter in the comments down below. What do you think the reason is for Kuma heading back to the Red Line? Why can't Vegapunk turn Kuma back to normal? And who is this mysterious ally lurking within the depths of Egghead? Make sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the Vince Smoke Benji channel. I'm only 20 subscribers away from my 100 subscriber goal. I know it doesn't mean too much, but I do really appreciate making these videos, and it means a lot for you guys to just make the comments and even subscribe to the channel. It means a whole lot, and I just want to keep on making content for you guys, you know? That's what I like doing. Love you guys so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, and 2023 is going to be an amazing year. Now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.